Prime time local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
The Conservatives are critiquing the transfer of notorious killer and serial rapist Paul Bernardo from a maximum security prison to a medium security facility.
It is outrageous that the prison system has moved Paul Bernardo to a medium security institution. He should be in a maximum security institution. The government should review any powers it has to reverse this ridiculous decision. Mr. Bernardo is a monster and he belongs in maximum security.
Now, Bernardo has been serving a life sentence for the kidnapping, torture, and murder of 2 teenage girls in the early 1990s. The lawyer representing the victim's family says he was informed Bernardo would be transferred out of the maximum security facility in Kingston, Ontario, to a medium security prison in Quebec. The move is facing widespread backlash. And looking closer to home, the Lloydminster Fire Department has a cool new partnership with Holy Rosary High School's Woods 9 class. A presentation took place earlier this morning, and our Shelby Clark has more on that story.
Students in the woodworking class created cribbing and blocking instruments that's normally used in vehicle extrication. These tools will help the fire department by making it easier on scene so they can carry kits back to their rescue vehicles instead of making multiple trips.
I think it's exciting. It's exciting for Lloydminster Fire to work with the community, work with the schools in our community. Out of the 18 students that are here today, I'm excited maybe there's a few of them that get an interest in emergency response field, whether that's fire department, police department, or EMS. It's giving them that opportunity to give them some career choices as they progress in their schooling and finish high school in 3 years.
The class made their way to Station 1 earlier today for a demo and display on how these instruments will be used in real time.
We got the chance to see them take apart a car, take the roof off, and see how the tools work.
These instruments will help the department save lives and make it easier to remove people from their vehicles.
So cribbing is basically used to stabilize the vehicle. So anytime that someone's in an accident, the vehicle becomes unstable. Even if it's on all 4 wheels, when we start using our jaws of life, our spreaders and our cutters, the vehicle will rock. So any sort of rocking motion to the patient can be detrimental to what we're trying to do to help them out, to help them on the vehicle.
The class of 18 students spent nearly 12 hours crafting these blocking pieces with teacher Kevin Bender. With this partnership, Holy Rosary High School aims to show how important it is in fostering a safer community within Lloydminster.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of the highlights of their grade 9 school year for them to come out and see their project in action in the community and get to have this experience. It'll be one of the things they remember about grade 9, so I think it's great.
For Primetime Local News, I'm Shelby Clark.
The Lloydminster Rotary Club is back once again with a new guest speaker discussing a new mentorship program for newcomers to Canada. Launched in 2019, the program is a pilot project originally starting in Fort McMurray and Lethbridge before opening its 3rd branch here in Lloydminster. The program is intended to assist newly immigrated residents adjust into the work culture of Canada.
It was started through ERIC, which is an agency in Edmonton that works with individuals who immigrate, and they really felt there was a need to have some rural mentorship programs. We know that we have a lot of newcomers coming to move to Lloydminster, and we want to ensure that they are welcomed in a number of different ways, including that they're able to find meaningful employment, start their own businesses, or whatever they would like to do.
In 2019, the government of Alberta supported the development of resources to help establish these programs.
Well, sometimes we have people who immigrate to Canada that have professional designations from the country they come from, and those aren't always accepted into Canada, but oftentimes there's ways to assist them to get those accepted, and so that would be one of our main focuses.
The pilot project is still in its early stages, but has goals to help more immigrants coming to Canada in the future. And as we start a new week, it's time to take a look into the archives for this week's edition of Retrospect. We start our look back at this week in history in 1994, as a small Alberta community makes a controversial education decision.
A new tune for rural education. The small village of Glendon is trying a 4-day-a-week school pilot, a move far from the ordinary for the small village of 450 people.
4-day week first started, it was the last thing in the world I ever thought would happen. It just seems so unnatural, untraditional.
And this break from tradition has some upset and questioning where the quality of education in Glendon is heading.
I can't see how a serious student or a serious teacher feels that they can do the same amount in 4 days as they can do in 5 days.
However, school officials say there are benefits to the system. One more day off may mean students are more attentive. There may be less sick and absentee days for both students and staff. And it may also give parents the opportunity to become more involved in their children's lives, thereby allowing schools to do what they were initially set up to do.
Let's step back and take a look at the waste and the efficiency. Maybe we just kept dumping everything on school. Let's teach them sex education. Let's teach them how to live. Let's teach them how to drive. Hold it. Is that the role of the school with the same staff that you had before?
But town officials argue the move doesn't only affect those in the school. It affects the small village as a whole.
We're fighting for our hospital. We're fighting for everything in town. They're picking on small towns. Now, here's a good example. You go to a 4-day week, they're going to look at you and say, hey, there you go. You can operate in 4 days instead of 5 days.
As for parents, students, and staff, reaction to the change is also mixed, ranging from negative to positive to wait and see.
The days are shorter and you've got longer breaks. Now it's just a great big rush to get to your classes.
An extra day off. You get to do what you want.
With a 4-day week, the students are receiving an extra 2.6 hours of instruction. Plus, the rural students don't have to ride the bus for 1 day out of 5.
We just have to wait till the end of June to find out, really.
I really don't think it's going to make a difference. I don't know, they're still getting their time in, and I think it's going to be okay.
The pilot project will last until the end of this school year. At that time, school officials will weigh the pros and the cons of the controversial proposal and decide whether or not it's feasible and beneficial to go full steam ahead in the fall.
And moving forward now to 1998, a group of Lloydminster residents rally to save the Meridian School.
Passed my class, so I'm right at the end.
Pete Holt was a student at the Meridian School in Lloydminster back when it opened in 1925.
See, I went for 4 years here when it was first built.
Oh, I see.
However, that history is in jeopardy. That is why Pete and others met today at the historic school.
The purpose of our organization is to preserve and celebrate our local histories.
That association is the Centennial Commemorative Committee, and they are trying to preserve the Meridian School as well as many other historical buildings across the border city. There are plans to level the school and in its place construct a new city hall.
It's our view, not necessarily that you have to preserve anything and everything that was ever built, but that it doesn't seem that in the present situation the heritage aspects, the aesthetic aspects, the cultural aspects are being adequately represented in the decision making that's being made.
And for that reason, the committee has collected over 1,300 signatures on a petition, which it handed over to City Council today. The Centennial Group hopes the historic school can be saved.
As far as we know, at this point, our petition is the biggest one.
Oh, I'm sure it is, Franklin, and it's appreciated.
However, creating a historical building costs money, and it won't come cheap.
Is there government money, heritage government money to kick in? We already have one heritage building that's been designated, which is the old post office down on the corner of 50th and 50th. and the estimated cost is probably about $60,000 a year to maintain this. We've had numbers on this that are over the $100,000 range a year. Is this what the city wants to spend its money on?
The petition has now been passed over to City Council, and the next step is for Council to address the bill. Saving old buildings such as the Merding School comes down to dollars, and finding enough money to preserve Lloyd history.
And I've never been on this ground since 1930.
Really?
No kidding.
As for Pete, if the city goes ahead as planned, all he may have left are his memories.
And this has been a look back at this week in retrospect.
Retrospect this week is brought to you by Webbs Ford. Worth your while to drive the extra mile. Webbs Ford in Vermilion.
Now it's time for us to take a look at weather. It was a warm day today in Lloydminster, then we had quite a thunderstorm come through. Let's check in with Shelby for a little more.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jace Mackey. Yes, you are correct. You know, we started off slightly warmer, not even slightly. We were having a scorcher today. And if you were outside whatsoever, it was feeling quite humid as well. So it was very hot starting off this week here in the border city. We are just sitting at 22. And yes, we started to see that thunderstorm start to roll in later on as we went through the afternoon, more into the evening. So we have been seeing that thunderstorm, and that's supposed to be kind of continuing on throughout the evening, and maybe seeing a little bit more showers as we go on through the night as well. So we had a couple showers, and we were also seeing some hail. So hopefully everybody is safe out there and making sure, you know, staying inside if you can, because we have been seeing some strong rainfall. Going over to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan. On the Alberta side, they are for the most part matched with us with these temperatures. Then we start to definitely warm up as we go higher up. A bit lower, they are matching with us more in that range for those temperatures, with 18 in Wainwright, hitting that 20-degree mark with Vermilion, so matching with us there in the border city. 25 down in Provost, and we go a bit farther out to Vegreville. They're also at 25. Edmonton is just sitting at 19, and then we have those 27s and 28s as we go a bit higher up. So for the most part, we are definitely have that severe thunderstorm warning and watches in most of these spots across our provinces. So please make sure you are being careful. Now, as we go over to our Saskatchewan side, they are also seeing some nice warm temperatures, some scorchers for sure. So looking a lot warmer compared to Alberta side in most of these spots. We have 25 to 27 degrees in most of these areas. We go a bit higher up to Green Lake, just at 28, matching with down in Maidstone and Macklin. Then we have 29 up in Isle Cross, while it is 32 in North Battleford. So pretty crazy as we have some of these scorchers. And taking a look at our radar here, so you can see it is spreading a lot across our provinces and across the region here. So please make sure you are being careful. We have some crazy thunderstorms moving in. Maybe it's definitely helping out with those dry conditions. Maybe they know we needed the help. So hopefully everybody is still enjoying their day. But as we look at North Battleford for tonight, they will be going down to that low of 15. So they will be cooling down quite a bit. They're just sitting at 32 now. So they will be cutting that down as they go into the evening, but also seeing those double digits. So a very warm evening expected, and a thunderstorm should be expected for North Battleford later on as well. For their Tuesday, 22 for their daytime highs, so kind of cooling down from what they have been seeing today, but they are also expecting another gloomier day. They're supposed to be expecting some showers later on in the afternoon. And looking at tonight for Cold Lake, they will be going out to that low of 12, so also seeing those double digits, expecting a thunder shower in spots later on in the evening. And then for their daytime high tomorrow for their Tuesday, 23, and a huge switch up. They are expecting a mixture of some sun and cloud for their day tomorrow, so beautiful day expected. Us here in the border city, we will be cooling down to that low of 10, so hitting those double digits, and we also will be expecting a thunderstorm this evening and some showers. So be prepared. Don't be shocked if it starts to clear up and then may come back again. We never know. The weather likes to switch up on us quite a bit. Then for our Tuesday, we'll be looking at 22, and kind of like Cold Lake, we will be expecting a beautiful day tomorrow, so a mixture of some sun and clouds. So beautiful day for our Tuesday tomorrow. And ending off with a look at some of your weather photo submissions. This is some from Kathy here. Some nice gorgeous tree shots. I know it's kind of a mix-up from Roxanne that we have been looking at outside, but we even got some now outside of the clouds. This is today's storm. So thank you to everyone that submitted already. You can go to our Facebook page. I will use these awesome storm photos on my weather segments throughout the day today and tomorrow. So that's all I have for now. For first look, your weather forecast.
4-H Expo took place at the Lloydminster exhibition this weekend, with clubs from both Alberta and Saskatchewan showing off their projects. Our Thomas Wildman has more on the event.
Over 250 4-H members, a dozen clubs, and hundreds of locals were out to see all the 4-H projects members had been working on all year. Not only livestock projects like cows, sheep, and horses, but also various other projects and skills were being showed off to the public.
4-H itself just isn't quite, it's not just agriculture. It really embraces a whole pile of different projects. Like I said previously, there was an archery project. You have these multiple ones here too. There's sewing, there's cooking, there's a whole pile of other different things just besides that. We also have canine as well. Anybody that has a sheep or a dog or a cat or a rabbit or something can be in 4-H as well. It's not just agriculture based, but being here in Lloydminster, we're a very agriculture based community, and we do have a pile of contributors here for the light horse and the beef side of things, but it's not just that aspect of 4-H. Even though the agriculture is the push for 4-H, and it's great to see the youth in agriculture starting right from the 6-year-old clover buds and working their way up to the 18, 19-year-old seniors. So it's very exciting, and just the sheer number of kids that we have this year is fantastic. I love it.
In helping to raise up the next generation of young leaders, 4-H offers the chance for those heading to post-secondary the opportunity for scholarships and bursaries, and the 4-H Expo gives out one every year to a lucky recipient, with this year's going to Addison Lepp.
Every year, District 35, which is the greater Lloydminster area here, hands out one bursary, and it's for a graduating student. They always ask for recommendations, letter recommendations and everything, and then one very, very good essay written about either their 4-H experiences or life after 4-H. Kind of depends year to year, but I think this year our representation, the lady that won it this year, was fantastic, very well deserved, and I know she's going to go on to do a lot of very good things leadership wise coming down the road here, so it's very exciting and very well deserved for sure.
Lepp is going off to U of S and hopes to one day go to vet school. Thomas Wildman, Primetime, Local News.
And now let's take a look at today's agriculture prices. Saskatchewan Summer Games is set to be held in 2024 in Lloydminster. Now, the games return after a long hiatus since 2016 due to the pandemic. Now, Tyne Energy emerged as the primary sponsor, offering $100,000 to ensure the games come to fruition.
You know, we built a company in Saskatchewan, and it's foundational that we support the communities that supported us as we built our organization. So it's wonderful to be able to give back, you know, to the entire province in a way that helps youth, in a way that helps sport.
The 2024 games are anticipated to add more types of sports such as wheelchair basketball and bocce.
Every day we get more momentum and more excitement around the games, and I mean, I think, you know, the hardest part is going to be the anticipation, since there has been several months and years coming up to this, but I think we have more time to, you know, maybe add in a few different things and really make this a stellar experience.
The Saskatchewan Summer Games are taking place from July 21st to July 27th, 2024. And I know that's going to be a great event here in Lloydminster, something that's been a long time coming, only a year away now. Let's check in once again with Shelby Clark for another look at your weather forecast.
Thanks so much again there, Mr. Jace Mackey. Starting off with a look at our central area of our provinces here for an extended look. We are looking on our Alberta side, and you know, we have cooled down slightly from what we have been seeing last week, but we are still hitting those 20s, so that's nice. We are looking at some beautiful conditions already starting off for the new week. 20 degrees seems to be the most common temperature on this side. Then we have 19 there in Edmonton, while the 17 over in Edson. Whitecourt seems to be a lot cooler, just hitting that 12-degree mark. And we go a bit higher to Cold Lake, and they are matching with us more, just at 23. So we are looking slightly cooler as we go over to our Saskatchewan side. And as we look over here, we have some scorchers. Definitely have that heat warning in place for most of these spots. So quite a switch up, as we know, of course, seeing some of these thunderstorms rolling through our provinces here, especially on our Alberta side. We have that 25 there in Meadow Lake, and then we start to even see past those 30s in all these other areas. 32 for Melfort, while there's 33 in both North Battleford and Saskatoon, and even hitting 34 in Prince Albert. So please make sure you are drinking lots of water, wearing that sunscreen if you're outside whatsoever, but that is getting into some pretty serious temperatures there. Going over to our northern zone on our Saskatchewan side, they seem to be following suit with what we are looking at in our central area, especially down in these spots here, as they are just hitting that 31, 33, so they have those heat warnings in place. Then we have 26 in both Alosh and Buffalo Narrows, and we go a bit higher up and they start to cool down. Just hitting 22 for Stony Rapids and Wollaston Lake, and then looking at 19 there in Uranium City, as they are looking slightly cooler. Going over to our Alberta side here, they have cooled down quite a bit from what they have been seeing at the end of last week, and compared to what we are looking at in our central area on our Alberta side. They are seeing those low teens, it seems like. 12 degrees seems to be the coolest for both Peace River and Slave Lake. Then we're just hitting 13 in Grand Prairie, and usually they try to see some slightly warmer conditions in these spots, but it looks like they have flipped the script for right now. 15 up in High Level, while there's 19 there in Fort Chipewyan, and then Fort McMurray is the warmest, kind of switched it up there with 25, as they have slightly been getting closer to that 30-degree mark. But now as we go over to our southern zone, they are seeing probably the nicest conditions on the Alberta side in this area compared to our central and our northern spots, as they have been getting closer to those mid-20s to 30-degree marks. 24 in Calgary, while there's 25, 26 for both Coronation and Banff, and then we even have 27 and 29 with Lethbridge and Medicine Hat, as they are just a few degrees off from that 30-degree mark. Going over to our Saskatchewan side, it seems like they are also following suit in this southern zone compared to our northern and our central zone with these 30-degree marks. We got some scorchers, so it seems like most of these areas have some really hot days for right now, starting off this new week. 30 degrees in Swift Current, while there's 31 in most spots on this side. And then we have 32 in Moose Jaws. They are looking at the warmest condition, and going over to Estevan, they are looking at the coolest with 23. So Estevan hasn't even quite hit that 30-degree mark. But now as we look at some overnight evening lows on this list in our surrounding areas. So we will be seeing those double digits once again for our evening low temperatures. So another warm night for sure expected in these spots. A low of 10 for Provost and Bonnyville, with a low of 11 in Paradise Hill. A low of 12 Meadow Lake will be expecting tonight, and Isla Crosse will be expecting a low of 14. So we will be seeing those double digits, and for the most part, most of these spots will be expecting high chances of some storms later on in this evening and a couple showers. So be prepared if you start to hear some thunder. You know exactly what's going on. Looking at our hourly forecast for our Tuesday here in the border city, we will be looking at those double digits starting off, kind of matching with the same temperature that we saw today. So we won't be warming it up by too much for tomorrow. We will be just going up to around 21, 22. So instead of almost hitting that 30-degree mark than what we saw earlier this afternoon, tomorrow we will be expected just to hit around 21, 22 degrees for our daytime high. So we'll be still a pretty nice day for tomorrow, because as we go past that, we will be warming it back up to 27 Wednesday. And we do have some scorchers ahead and a lot more sunshine. So after today, we will be looking at that 22, then almost hitting that 30-degree mark Wednesday all the way through Thursday, Friday, and Saturday as we head into the weekend. And that even will continue into Sunday as we end it off heading into next week. And that's all I have for now. Our Jason Mackey will have more news coming up after the break.
Kimberly Steyer from the Olive Tree is joining us here today on Primetime Local News. And we're going to be talking about a competition in Lloydminster here that is very well received. Kimberly, first of all, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, the sidewalk chalk competition is coming up here again in just over a week or so. And this is something that I know kids in the city really enjoy. It's a chance for them to show their creativity in a unique way. So first of all, when is the contest starting and what is the end date on it?
We are so excited. The 2023 chalk competition is launching this Saturday, the same day as Downtown Street Fest and our Pancake Breakfast. And it is going to go until next Friday. And then our prize winners will be announced on Saturday, June 17th.
Okay, and how do kids enter? And is there any limitations as to what they should be drawing, or is it just free to draw whatever they like?
There's really not a lot of limitations. We're just asking for kids to go outside, enjoy some fresh air, put their creativity to use. And children's age 6 to 12 can join in the fun anytime during the week, have their parents snap a picture of it and upload those pictures to our Facebook event page. If you can't find the event page, you could also tag us on Instagram or Facebook, and we'll make sure it gets in the right place. And make certain that your kid has created a title for their beautiful masterpiece. And just let us know what their name is, and the title, and the picture, and you'll be entered to win.
And with that, there are some great prizes, and also you have the prizes because you have some great sponsors. So let's talk about the prizes and the sponsors, Kimberly.
We are so thankful to have Real Country 95.9 and Walking on Water sponsor this year's 2023 chalk competition. Real Country 95.9 has graciously sponsored a bike for one of the winners, and Walking on Water has donated some fun prize packs of toys for some of the winners as well.
Well, this is a great event, and I know that there are a number of kids that take part every year. So, Kimberly, if anybody is looking for more information in regards to either what the prizes are or how they can enter, what is the best way to find all of that information?
Well, we are really active on social media, so you can actually check either Instagram or Facebook page. The links are also in our bio on Instagram, and our Facebook event page is where the main photos will be shared. And so those links are found all over our pages. If you have any questions, you can feel free to send us a message. It will probably be me messaging you back.
And one more question. You said that the event is judged on the 17th. Do you have a panel of judges or just one judge, or how does that work, Kimberly?
We will have some special guest judges to be announced on the 17th, and then we will announce it on social media.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, and good luck with the competition. I'm sure you're going to get to see some amazing work of art by the children in Lloydminster. So thanks again for chatting with us.
Thank you for having us.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
I'm happy to be joined here today with Patrick Lancaster with the City of Lloydminster to talk about a breakfast that is coming up on June 15th. It's the Seniors Food for Thought Breakfast. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me here today.
Of course. Now, can you tell me what this breakfast is and kind of the idea behind it?
The Food for Thought Breakfast is organized by the Lloydminster Elder Abuse Prevention Committee. And really the goals of the event are twofold. One, we really do want to bring seniors together, provide an opportunity for them to build connection, be aware of what's available in community, and just appreciate seniors, because we really do love our seniors in this community. Secondly, we also want to raise awareness around elder abuse to help create a better understanding of what elder abuse is and what kind of supports there are in the community.
That sounds amazing, and something very, very important to have for people to learn about. Now, I know that, seniors are the most easily targeted for, like you said, elder abuse and scam calls and all that. So why do you think it's important to have this breakfast to get people involved to learn more about it?
Well, as you said, seniors are frequently targeted by scams and fraudsters who are seeking to take financial advantage of them. And it's important for seniors to be aware of some of the tactics and some of the tricks that scammers use, when they're trying to get a hold of their funding, or even those situations where it may be a family member who doesn't have the best of intentions, and they are taking advantage of the generosity or the trust of that senior. And we want to make sure that the seniors are taken care of. A lot are on fixed income, and so a financial blow through a scam or through fraudulent activity can really have big consequences for their quality of life, and as well as their well-being.
Now that sounds awesome, and it's great that the city is putting something on like this to get the word out and to get more people more informed about this, because it is an issue, and I've seen it. It just doesn't happen here; it happens everywhere, and so I think that it's very important for people to learn more about it, and for seniors themselves to be more aware of what's a scam and what's not, and try to avoid that happening. Now, for the breakfast for the day, what can people expect when they show up? Do they need to buy tickets? Is it just come as you are? What is kind of the situation for the actual day?
Well, we are hoping for folks to RSVP in advance. That way we know how many to expect. And then that way the seniors that come can expect a tasty breakfast. So folks can RSVP that they would like to attend the breakfast by going to lloydminster.ca / FCSS events and register through there. If they need assistance, they can also call the city and we'll assist them with registering 780-875-6184. For again, we're expecting a really tasty breakfast that's being sponsored by Synergy Credit Union. And we have two speakers. We have Melissa Starchuk, who's a fraud specialist at Synergy Credit Union, as well as Cheryl Krusinger, who is an internal auditor and certified fraud examiner. So you get a little bit of food, a little bit of education, and we're hoping that everyone will have a good time.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I think this is such a great idea for people to learn more and, help protect our seniors, because they are really important to the community. And it's tragic that we have to see so many get taken advantage of. So thank you so much for joining me, and I cannot wait for this breakfast.
Thank you.
And that's our show for this Monday night. Thank you all so much for starting your week here with us on Primetime Local News. We'll be back here again tomorrow. See you then.